The Storybox Community Theatre Project presents Little Red Riding Hood and Friends, adapted by Alfie James and supported by the Arts Council England and Brentwood Borough Council.
I'm sure you've all heard of the story of Little Red Riding Hood, but I bet you haven't heard our version though. Little Red Riding Hood was very close to her grandma. She loved her very much. In fact, it was her grandma who spent all summer making her that famous bright red hooded cloak.
Ooh, it's simply the best.
Now you be careful, my dear. It may need taking up a bit.
Nonsense, Grandma. It's perfect already. I'll wear it straight away.
Don't you want me to take it up just a little, my dear?
No, I want to wear it now. Don't you think I look so grown up in it?
It looks splendid, but you don't need to be in such a hurry to grow up. You've got years to do that.
Grandma was right, but Little Red Riding Hood was very impatient. She wanted to act like a grown-up already. In fact, this is where our story really begins. One morning, Little Red Riding Hood was in the kitchen whilst her mother was preparing a basket of food.
I do hate it when Grandma is ill.
I'm sure she'll be as right as rain soon. She just needs some rest. I thought that we might take her a basket of food to cheer her up. What do you think?
I think that's a fabulous idea, but I want to take it by myself. Please, can I? I'm old enough now.
I don't know. It's a long walk through the forest. I don't want you getting lost.
It's not that long. I'll be good. I won't talk to anyone. I'll stay on the footpath. Pretty please.
Very well then, but stay on the main footpath and don't talk to strangers.
The forest was deep and the trees were tall. The wind could be heard whistling in the branches, waving the leaves from side to side.
Whoosh, whoosh.
The footpath was long and muddy in places, and the broken branches and leaves crunched under her feet.
Crunch, crunch.
But Little Red Riding Hood was in her element. She was happy to be let out by herself. She felt so grown up. She skipped along the path. It was a glorious, happy day.
I am the big bad wolf and...
No, not yet.
Oh, sorry.
Just at that moment, Little Red Riding Hood was stopped by an owl who was perched on one of the branches above in the trees.
Twit-to-woo!
Hello, Owl.
My goodness! What are you doing walking out all by yourself?
I'm off to see my grandma. She's sick.
All by yourself?
Of course. I'm quite grown up now. I don't need a grown-up anymore.
Don't need a grown-up? My goodness gracious me! Haven't you heard of the dangers of the wood?
What dangers?
Well, for a start, there's a sneaky, hungry wolf out lurking in the forest.
I'm not afraid of a wolf.
Not afraid? Good gracious me! You are a brave girl indeed.
I've walked through this forest lots of times. It's quite safe.
And what have you got there?
It's a basket of food. It's to cheer Grandma up.
What a lucky grandma she is. Well, I must let you go. Don't stay out too late and beware of that wolf. I've heard he's extremely hungry. To-wit-to-woo!
And so Owl was off, sweeping through the trees. Owl was right, though. There was a nasty wolf out and about, and he was very...
Hungry indeed. Too soon? I'll just go leave quietly.
Little Red Riding Hood continued skipping along the path towards her grandma's house. Her grandma lived deep inside the forest in a small cottage. It had a little chimney which puffed out smoke from her little open fire, which kept Grandma warm. Sometimes when Little Red Riding Hood was there, Grandma would let her cook marshmallows over the fire.
What have we got here?
I'm Little Red Riding Hood.
Fox was a brave and clever creature who knew the forest well. He was even quite famous and had featured in his very own book, where he'd managed to fool 3 nasty farmers.
I know who you are, little girl, but what are you doing out here all alone?
Less of the little, thank you very much. I'm big enough to be walking out by myself.
But the forest can be a pretty scary place. There's plenty of stories which I could tell you.
I'm not scared at all. I can look after myself.
Haven't you heard about the wolf? I've heard he's about and roaming the wood.
I won't be fooled.
He's a very cunning, nasty wolf, especially when he's hungry.
I won't be his dinner, just you see.
But the fox wasn't so sure.
Only last week I heard old Mavis the rabbit saying the same thing. Now she's inside his belly.
My mother told me not to speak to strangers.
Wise words, and you listen to her too.
Just then, the owl swooped down.
Twit-to-woo! Hello, Fox. Hello, Little Red Riding Hood. Have you heard the news? There's a hungry wolf about.
I were just warning the girl to be careful and not to talk to strangers.
Would you like us to walk with you to make sure you arrive at your grandma's safely?
Perfectly fine, but thank you for the kind offer. But I'm a grown-up now.
Really, it wouldn't be any trouble. We're both friends of your grandma's, and she's always leaving food out for us to eat.
But Little Red Riding Hood was a very stubborn girl and politely declined. So off they went. And off she went, skipping away with not a care in the world until she almost stepped on...
Hey, watch it! You nearly stepped on me.
I'm sorry, I didn't see you.
Clearly. You almost flattened me as flat as a pancake. I could have been a goner. Dead. Flat. Rest in peace.
I did say that I was sorry.
And you think that's enough?
You were crawling across the footpath.
So it's my fault now, is it? Is it?
I didn't mean...
To be rude? This isn't your forest, you know. That's the trouble with you human beings. You think you own everything. What are you doing walking all by yourself anyway? Haven't you heard about that wolf?
She's not scared.
Not one bit.
I'm grown up enough now. I don't need any help, thank you.
I've heard. He's dreadfully nasty.
Cunning and sly.
He fooled poor Mavis, and there was a little mouse too.
I won't be fooled.
I've heard he's got big pointy ears and a giant bushy tail.
And sharp teeth, and long claws too.
I'm not scared.
Are you sure you don't want us to walk with you?
I don't need you to. I'm big and brave enough by myself, but thank you for the offer.
The 3 animals looked at one another. They were worried about the little girl and wanted to help.
I'll be fine.
And so they were off, and Little Red Riding Hood skipped away. Little Red Riding Hood went further into the forest proudly by herself. Suddenly, she slowed down as she came across something in the way of the footpath ahead.
Ooh, it's my address. It's my path. Boo-hoo, boo-hoo.
Why? What's wrong?
It's okay, little girl. I'll be fine.
But you're crying. Whatever is wrong?
Nobody likes me.
Why?
Because I'm the wolf.
The wolf?
Everyone's scared of me.
I'm not scared of you.
The wolf gathered to his feet. He was a lot bigger than what Fox had said. His teeth looked sharper than Owl had warned, and his nose was long and pointy.
You're not scared of me?
No.
I'm just little misunderstood. That's all. I just want a friend.
Wolf said sneakily with a cunning grin.
Will you be my friend?
I suppose I could be. After all, you don't seem to be scary at all. Plus, you haven't tried to eat me.
Eat you? Well, why would I want to do that?
Aren't you hungry?
Yes, but I'm only hungry for those cakes and buns in that basket you have.
Oh, but you can only have one. The rest are for Grandma. She's not well, you see. I'm just off to cheer her up.
Not well? Oh, how awful that is. I bet she's feeling weak too and wouldn't put up the fight. Feeling weak and vulnerable.
Exactly.
Well, I best let you get off along your way. Your mother must be right behind you. Have you skipped ahead of her?
No, I'm by myself.
By yourself? How delightful! How brave you are!
I am brave.
I simply love your cloak too. But it is not an ordinary cloak. Is it an M&S cloak?
It is, thank you. You're not nasty at all. In fact, you're very kind.
Thank you, Little Red Riding Hood. Tell me, where does your grandmother live? Is it far?
Not too far, just the other side of the small river in the small opening.
Then I must let you go now. Be safe and don't talk to any strangers. Ah, what a ghastly, disgusting cake. And what a silly girl, too. I'm off to Grandma's house as fast as you can say, dinner time.
Poor Little Red Riding Hood. If only she'd listened to her mother and her friends and not trusted the wolf. The wolf scarpered to Grandma's house indeed. The door was locked, but Wolfie cried.
Grandma! Grandma! Let me in!
Who's that there knocking so loud?
Using his best girly voice, the wolf replied.
It is I, Little Red Riding Hood. Let me in.
And despite the wolf's appalling acting, poor old Grandma was fooled, and as soon as she unlocked the door, the wolf burst in.
Ah, surprise!
Oh, gosh! Oh, no!
And before she could mutter another word, Wolf swallowed her whole.
Well, I was hungry after all.
And knowing that Little Red Riding Hood wasn't far behind, he quickly dressed up as Grandma and got into her bed.
I'm normally not so greedy, but with a second helping on its way, who am I to refuse?
Meanwhile, Little Red Riding Hood was happily skipping along towards the river when she was stopped by another friend.
Yeah,
Why, hello, my little friend. And what brings you here?
I'm off to see my Grandma. She's not well, so Mum's made up a basket of food to cheer her up.
Ah, it smells delicious, I must say. Where's your mother, though?
She's at home. I'm all grown up now, you see.
Oh dear, you children, you're always so keen to grow up fast. And then when you get to my age and all you wish for is to be a child again.
But it's boring being a child. I'd much rather be a grown-up.
Boring being a child, to say? Nah, well, what a nonsense. It's great. I used to have so much fun being a young badger growing up. Building dens, kiss chasing, playing cowboys, Indians, and cops and robbers. Yes.
My grandma says that I'm growing up too fast too. So does my mother. But I like it.
I do hope, though, that your grandmother gets well soon. Yes.
So do I.
Well, be careful, my dear. There's a rather nasty wolf about.
I know, but I've already met him.
You've already met him?
And he was frightfully kind to me. I do believe he just wants a friend.
He just wants that. He told you that?
But Badger wasn't convinced. He knew something was up.
He even said that he liked my new red cloak.
Well, it is rather nice, I must say. M&S, what? But be careful. If that Wolfie tries to speak to you again, you know, and then promise me that you'll not stop. In fact, you'd run away as fast as you can.
But he's my friend.
That Wolfie's no one's friend. Please tell me that you didn't tell him where you were going, huh?
Of course I did.
Then let me come with you and for the rest of the journey, huh?
I don't mean to be mean, but I'd rather go by myself. It's my first time going on my own, and I want to be a grown-up. I'm big enough now, after all.
But Badger wasn't happy. He was even more worried about the wolf and that Little Red Riding Hood had told him about where she was going. Still, he let her go and raced off to find the others, as he knew that she was in trouble. You see, badgers have this powerful instinct. They can sense when something isn't quite right, and that wolf smelt very rotten indeed. So off Little Red Riding Hood went, across the river and towards the small clearing where her grandma lived. As she arrived, she came to the wooden door and knocked on it 3 times, as she always did.
Come in! Come in!
Hello, Grandma. How good it is to see you.
Hello, my dear. How good it is to see you too.
How are you feeling?
Not too good, I'm afraid.
Your voice does sound rather husky and deep.
The cold, my dear. It's this terrible cold. Did you come by yourself?
I did, Grandma, I did.
All by yourself? I can't believe it.
See, I told you, I'm all grown up now.
And you brought me some goodies, I see.
I have. Mother baked them specially.
Why, dear? Why don't you come a little closer?
Oh, Grandma, it smells rather rotten in here. Shall I open one of the windows?
Oh, no. I'll catch a dreadful chill. I must stay warm.
You're right. I wouldn't want you to catch another chill.
Now come a little closer, my dear. Let Grandma look at you.
Don't you want me to put these cakes away for you? Or I could warm them up if you wish.
Oh, no need for that. It's you I'm going to eat.
What did you say, Grandma?
Nothing, my dear. Just put them down by the bed. I'll be able to reach them there.
Gosh, Grandma, what big eyes you've got.
All the better to see you with.
Isn't that strange?
Come a little closer, dear.
But, Grandma, what big ears you've got.
All the better to hear you with.
That's very, very strange.
Now come even closer still, my dear.
Grandma, what big teeth you've got.
All the better to eat you with.
Suddenly, Wolf jumped out the bed and chased poor Little Red Riding Hood around the room.
Ah!
Stop! Please, somebody stop him. It's the wolf. He's going to eat me.
Ah!
Munch, gobble, gobble, gone.
Poor Little Red Riding Hood was swallowed in one. Between you and I, this wolf was so greedy he didn't even chew his food. Now, normally you'd think that this would be the end of the story. After all, Little Red Riding Hood hadn't listened to her mother when she said not to speak to any strangers, and she hadn't listened to the owl and the fox, nor had she listened to the snake when they tried to warn her. If only she'd not been so silly and refused to let Badger walk with her to Grandma's house, she might not have been fooled by the wolf and now be sitting in the darkness of his big fat belly.
Hey, who are you calling fat?
Shh! It's the story, and you've got both Grandma and Little Red Riding Hood swallowed whole inside of you.
Why is that? Surely not. Chewing your food will give you a bellyache.
Because if you did, then the last part of this story wouldn't work after all. Now get off the stage and let me start the final scene.
Woof!
Now, you may remember that Badger wasn't convinced and he'd gone off to find his friends. Not only did he find Owl and the fox and the snake, but they found a woodcutter just minding his own business.
Come on, Woodcutter, we must be quick, before it's too late.
I don't understand. What could it be?
We must save Little Red Riding Hood from the wolf.
The wolf, you said? Then what are we waiting for? Show me the way.
They rushed to Grandma's house and they burst through the door and found the wolf lying on the bed. They all looked at the empty bed uncomfortably.
Shouldn't there be a wolf on that bed?
Ugh. They rushed to Grandma's house and they burst through the door and found Grandma lying on the bed.
Sorry. Did you call?
The woodcutter took one look at the wolf and cried,
Give us back Grandma and Little Red, or else.
Not on your Nelly.
The woodcutter chased the wolf off stage and we heard one almighty plonk.
Plonk!
The woodcutter freed Grandma and Little Red Riding Hood. Although they were a little green and smelly from being inside his belly, they were happy to still be alive.
I'm very sorry that I didn't listen to you all when you were trying to keep me safe. I shall never talk to strangers again.
And so Little Red Riding Hood had learnt her lesson. Not only do grown-ups occasionally talk sense, but really, children should never talk to strangers. The story ends here on a positive note with all the friends having a feast. And they all lived happily ever after. The end.
Grandma, Grandma, what big eyes you've got, Grandma, Grandma. Oh, how strange you look.
All the better to see you with, all the better to see you with, all the better to see you with, my dear.
Grandma, Grandma. Oh, what big ears you've got. Grandma, Grandma. Oh, how strange you look.
All the better to hear you with, all the better to hear you with, all the better to hear you with, my dear.
Grandma, Grandma. Oh, what big teeth you've got. Grandma, Grandma. Oh dear, what a shock.
All the better to eat you with, all the better to eat you with, all the better to eat you with, my dear.